That wasn't a real life conversation. That was you made a decision and you were telling me what your decision was. And why is your first call to our producers when you're having thoughts that you want to call off a wedding instead of—
I didn't have thoughts to call off the wedding.
Virtual reality. Hi, I'm Danny Murphy.
And I'm Evan Real.
And we made it through part 2 of the Summer House reunion, and we got some more, well, we got closure, I think, on the Carl and Lindsay saga.
Do you miss your friend?
I did in the beginning, but that dissipated quickly.
I don't know if they ever will have total closure, but we covered a lot of ground.
Yeah, I feel like with this whole Carl and Lindsay situation, my emotions were going up and down, left and right, sideways, this way, that way. I didn't really know how to feel because, like we've mentioned before, I feel like throughout this season, it's like one episode you're team Carl, one episode you're team Lindsay. I feel like after the reunion, I am team both. I kind of feel like they both made great points. How are you feeling?
Yeah, I'm team so happy they don't have to hire divorce lawyers because, like, I think everyone is just like the reality is like, how would they ever have had a happy marriage that they both would want?
Accusing someone of doing drugs feels like a relationship-ending accusation. Like
And it
feels cutthroat, it feels below the belt, it feels like knife stuck in and turned.
You were weaponizing his sobriety.
I think a lot of, well, I feel actually it was very interesting that Andy brought out a lot of the truth.
I'm making it clear to the audience because that's the narrative.
Where kind of, I feel Andy almost should have been on one of the couches because he was, I feel like, spilling the most tea with the reveal of their matched salaries.
You also, by the way, to break the fourth wall, we're both making, I'm assuming, the same amount appearing on this show.
And the reveal of the production discussion about the final scene.
Y'all, and you all know this, I think, you guys don't decide what is shot on this show.
Hell no.
Production decides what is shot on the show.
No, I know. Andy was like, if there's a fourth wall, we are breaking it right here, right now, shattered pieces all over the floor. I thought that was so interesting. I thought it was so interesting to find out that they both have the same salary for the show. I mean, they did both start, we don't really know the numbers, but
I would assume they have the same salary as Kyle because that's why Amanda was like, and I know it's a lot. Because did you hear her say that under her breath?
And then I wonder if Wes and Jesse and Gabby are just sitting there like, oh, damn, I don't think we're making the same kind of money for the show.
I don't think I could cover Hub's house by myself.
Right.
The 16K or whatever.
I did love Paige's reactions and her facial expressions throughout a lot of the Lindsay and Carl talk, especially when Andy was like, essentially, you guys do have the same job. It's the show plus brand deals.
I mean, my job, A, is this show, and then B, doing brand campaigns on the side.
I think it just felt very harsh
Which
and
is his job too.
Paige was eating that up. And then Paige also made some good points. She's like, it's not like Carl is out here on the streets. He does have the same job as you.
He's not making like significantly less than you. You're making what? 30 grand more, 20 grand more. It's not that crazy.
Maybe girls do get paid more for brand deals, but it's not like an insane amount where you need to be worried about the stability of your marriage. I mean, truly, I don't think it was ever about Carl's job. I think it's the fact that their neighbors are calling for noise complaints, and I don't know if the cops were ever involved. We did not get into that. Like, how did we not unpack that a bit more? The neighbors like doing the noise complaints and them fighting so loud in their apartment that Lindsay has re-signed the lease for. I
feel Andy was kind of like, this is a little too Kim Zolciak for me. I don't want to deal with that right now. Like, we're having a fun time. He's like, I'm tardy for this party. I need to find out about all
This is very Kim Zolciak. Please, can we talk about it some more?
Wait, but I will say, I feel, because I've been trying to like decipher our girl Lindsay a little bit. And I think a lot of her concerns were with, because she's a planner. And I wonder also if she's a catastrophizer, because I think the way some of the stuff she was talking about, she's like, well, when this show's done, either when we're not going to be doing this show.
What happens when that show goes away?
I mean, I would love to watch them Summer House like Hampton's retirement community, but she's kind of thinking like, well, when all the chips fall, when all is said and done, where's the money gonna be coming from? And when we have the kids that we wanna have, sure, we can like afford our Barry's classes and our Sweet Greens on our joint salaries right now as influencers and reality stars. But when we wanna raise our kids in wherever we wanna raise them, what about that? And Lindsay also said she wants to do a little less work. So I don't know, maybe she wants to do a little less posting when she is mama mode.
I guess so, but I would just encourage Lindsay to live in the moment.
Evan, no. I can't, I hate when someone says live in the moment. I'm like, send me the doctor that will give me the lobotomy to live in the moment, because I don't know how to do that. And I don't think Lindsay can either. And I feel that is why I understand her, because I can never just be like, oh, well, we'll ride the wave for 2 years and like have a good time and we'll see what happens when we're 42 with a child. You want to see then?
I mean, like, there's nothing wrong with planning, but I think sometimes over planning can steal someone's joy. And it's interesting that you bring this up, Danny, because this is what I think is the issue in this whole blindsiding situation. I don't think that Carl knew he was going to call off the wedding in that moment. And actually, if you kind of like look back on that scene, he's not like, I'm calling off the wedding. I can't remember exactly what he said, but I think Lindsay's interpretation was like, okay, that means you're calling off the wedding. And then she like walks away and calls her dad. I think the day didn't go as she planned. And then she heard Carl suggest that maybe a wedding isn't a good idea. She did admit in part 2 of the reunion that it was the best decision ultimately. And I think she knew that moment.
I think the decision that he made was the best decision for me.
And was like, okay, what he's saying is that like he really doesn't want to do the wedding. I'm sort of going to frame it as he's calling off the wedding. I'm going to run to call my dad. And then she sort of rewrote history from there. And I think that she was very shocked and blindsided in the moment, because that's not how she woke up and planned to spend her day.
Yeah.
That conversation was not part of the itinerary.
I know. And I do kind of feel like they both sat down. I think also, because we didn't really get a chance to unpack the finale scene that they had, I think they both kind of like sat down. I feel they almost had like a flash forward moment of, this is what we're going to be doing forever. Like,
yeah,
we're going to just have tense conversations and talks all the time. Yeah, and I also do, Andy, because that was the other thing that Andy brought up.
You guys had this horrible weekend. Production wanted to follow up and see the aftermath of this terrible weekend. They shot those two. They wanted to shoot you two.
What production would assume with picking the cameras back up is that they're like, okay, because they left the summer so badly and they're gonna get married, like, let's put a little bow on the bliss before maybe, because I don't even know if they were gonna film the wedding or not, but like, you can't just have them have this like awful, like, basically him driving away without her, like, tense moment and everything, and then be like, so guys, they got married. So I do think everyone kind of went in being like, we'll see what happens, and it did just explode on all them.
Yeah, like it can't be like, I'm not taking Lindsay home to Manhattan, cut to her walking down the aisle. That would have made no sense. So yeah, it definitely makes sense that producers would want to follow whatever story was left to wrap up.
I did have the LOL when, because Carl's like, and I am gonna start my sober bar. And Paige just goes, I love that for you.
You're gonna open a sports bar.
I've got a team together. We've raised some money, and we're actually gonna open something here in New York.
A sober sports bar?
The cafe and bar that only serves non-alcoholic drinks.
That's really nice.
So.
Like, she's like, I love it. Like, but I feel like it is kind of that is the tense thing where I think Lindsay also is worried, where she's like starting businesses where you put a lot of money up front, and then where's the return?
We're trying to bring money in, not give it away.
The return is following your dreams and feeling fulfilled. Danny.
Do you want to feel more fulfilled in your bank account? We could differ in that way.
I think sometimes money isn't everything. It can't buy you class, as the Countess said, and it can't buy you happiness sometimes.
I can't wait. Everyone, try this at home. Tell your landlord when you can't pay rent because your sober bar isn't pulling in the returns you wanted, that money's not everything, actually.
Well, going back to Paige, since Paige and I seem to be aligned in supporting Carl's dreams and fantasies.
Yeah, you guys are both investing, right?
Yeah, I'm investing my emotional support and my good vibes. I'm sending him all the good vibes, if not.
Live in the moment. Venmo him.
No, I did love how Paige was supportive. And then I also thought it was really sweet of Paige to bring up the fact that Carl essentially shat on himself for the duration of the summer house reunion.
You talk very badly about yourself. You've done it all day. You're not as...
You read the internet?
You're not as awful as...
The internet is hateful.
Which I thought was interesting because I didn't actually realize it until she said it. And I was like, wait, he is kind of like really knocking himself down at every chance he could get. And I don't know if that was his like overselling of I'm taking accountability for my part in the Lindsay split, but he really was like, I don't know. How did you interpret it? Was it him taking accountability or him just being in like a really down place? Because he also later revealed that he hasn't hooked up with anyone or been intimate with anyone since.
Gabby's face to that was really funny.
You know, I haven't kissed anybody since Lindsay. I haven't hooked up with anybody since Lindsay. And that's embarrassing. But that's where my head has been. Because I hurt someone I care about.
And she goes, what? She's like, what's happening? Like, because I'm like, I don't know if I would consider that embarrassing. I guess they've been separate. I don't know if embarrassing was an interesting term for that, but I guess he's really not in a space to date, and I wonder how he really feels about the bounce back of Lindsay Hubbard, but Lindsay Hubbard can't slow down. I didn't notice Carl's down badness talking. I think he was just in a big place of like, owning his part of everything, where he wasn't on the defensive, which I think a lot of people were surprised about, and I think that's what they were interpreting, because he kind of was like, yeah, I didn't, like, even with the bridal shower, he's like, I didn't do that the right way, I didn't handle this the right way.
To be completely honest, I didn't know how to navigate that information. In my personal opinion at that time, I started thinking, okay, if I have this conversation with my parents privately, do I still need to come back to Lindsay, even though I'm committed and thinking that we're good?
Yes, you do.
And I that up, and I'm sorry.
I think it was good that he was not really giving anybody a chance to like come at him with anything. But I know, he seemed sad.
Yeah, he did seem sad, but he was happy with, I mean, at the end of the reunion, he was like, I'm very pleased and delighted that Lindsay didn't go as hard for me as she could have.
Honestly, I thought she was going to try to burn me to the ground still for some reason, but it's nice to see
We're not done yet.
Well.
And I will say, I'm going to give props to Lindsay because we don't hear her say sorry a lot. She did say sorry. She did say, maybe it wasn't the apology that everybody wanted.
I would like to say, first of all, it was absolutely wrong of me to question your sobriety, knowing that, like, how hard you've worked. And so I am sorry that I even questioned it to begin with.
Maybe it came with a few conditions, but she did say sorry for calling him Cocaine Carl. However, the thing that I'm still trying to figure out, she was like, I should have used more delicate language, and the cast immediately called her out. I was like, what would be the delicate synonym for Cocaine Carl? Like Coca-Cola Carl? Like what would you
Coke Zero
have said that would have like sent the same message? Like, we just don't send the message, Lindsay.
Celsius Carl? I don't know.
Yeah. Right.
Red Bull giving him wings? I don't know. I don't know what the language would be. But I know, it's funny how I feel like Paige to Ciara part 1 was Kyle to Carl part 2. Like, I feel Kyle was saying everything maybe people thought Carl would say to Lindsay, because he was coming at her hot.
You don't get to tell me how I feel, Kyle.
By the time we got to the club, you guys had a full-blown fight out of something you manifested out of thin air.
He was ignoring me the entire time.
Lindsay, I'm telling you right now, I'm not privy to all your fights, but if this is how they typically go, I now know why they spiral.
Why?
You know what,
Because
Kyle?
it's delusion.
I know, yeah. Kyle kept his foot on Lindsay's neck. But I mean, they're both like strong, fiery, passionate Leos, so they are great opponents in that way because they'll just go ham on each other. They were just not seeing eye to eye whatsoever.
They were not happy, and I feel like Amanda was very relieved that like Lindsay didn't like come at Kyle too much with like receipts that like could be thrown in his face.
Yeah. Yeah, well, do you know what the thing is? I think that maybe Lindsay is a little bit judicious with the receipts that she waves around because I think, and from what we've seen and heard about her experiences on Watch What Happens Live and how she allegedly treats the staff, I think that some receipts could be thrown right back at her. And I also think, because you were mentioning, Danny, how Andy felt like maybe he should have sat on one of the couches because he was kind of like going hard on Lindsay a little bit, like really putting her feet to the fire. And my theory is that's because of the way Lindsay has allegedly behaved on the set of Watch What Happens Live. So he's like, girl, you're wreaking havoc and causing mess at my place of work. Let me throw some mess on you.
Oh, he was like, I didn't get no sleep, so you don't get no sleep type of thing. I love that for him.
Yeah, that's what I think. I don't know.
Wait, I think I need to do a Reddit deep dive. I don't really know that much about Lindsay's behavior at Watch What Happens Live.
Danny, pay attention, please. Like Danielle Staub would tell you to do. Like she, I think Kyle and Amanda and several of the cast members have been like, she's insanely rude too.
Oh, I know she was at BravoCon. I didn't know Watch What Happens Live too. I guess that would track.
I think it extends. Yeah. Why keep it to one place? Like Lindsay's taking the tour international, baby, or at least to Vegas.
Oh, okay. She has a residency. She's Celine Dion. I do feel this is both. This gave me hope that hope for Amanda.
Kyle is DJing now. He has lessons every Thursday, New Jersey.
That Kyle's DJ classes are in New Jersey.
Yes. Wait, that's a really good point, Danny.
Good sign for a move. And with all the love to Kyle's DJ career, I think it'd be a better blossoming start for him to do the like Sweet 16 circuit of New Jersey because that's profitable.
Very profitable. I feel like, Jersey loves a Sweet 16 from what I've heard and what I've seen on MTV. So that would be incredible for him. I'm so happy that he finally followed up on his dreams, wishes, and desires to become a DJ. And maybe just maybe.
Did you remember when they were like, and he's being a DJ, and Andy goes, he is?
And now he's a DJ.
Watching that is hysterical.
He is.
No, he is. Andy was confused.
I think it makes sense. Honestly, he's a boy who loves a good party, and maybe Amanda will feel more confident that he's out late because he's DJing a Sweet 16 in Tenafly instead of spending, the wee hours of the morning somewhere in Manhattan with girls that she doesn't know.
And also, he DJ'd the Summer House premiere party this season, and he was great.
I mean, okay, what was your favorite song that he played?
It's a DJ set, Evan. It was went all together.
But you know how there's moments that you remember. Like I feel like you probably remember a song that Jordan from Summer House Martha's Vineyard played.
Well,
what song did she play?
DJ Jordy Jor. It's a little different, and I think Kyle would even admit that DJ Jordy Jor could give him some lessons because Jordan had the full event going on, and Kyle knows that.
Yeah, no, Jordan's incredible. I wonder if.
And also, you just made me so sad that there's not Martha's Vineyard season, because that was one of the most fun premiere parties ever. Like, dancing to Sexy Red with Candace. I'm sorry. What?
Do you think Kyle's playing Sexy Red at his soon-to-be Sweet 16 DJ moment?
West is a fan, so maybe West can give Kyle. Well, he's a fan of the Drake collab, and I know because he's a big Drake fan. So maybe he could spread some of that to him, because maybe it'll be the first word West says since the reunion, because he's a very quiet part too.
Yeah, he was a little quiet part too. But speaking of West, I mean, we got to it right at the beginning, and then it turned into the Kyle, Amanda, Carl, Lindsay show. Mm-hmm. But the West and Ciara wrap up was interesting.
I can't sit here and say that I don't still like him.
Do you have feelings for him?
Yeah, of course.
Because they both admitted that they still have feelings for each other.
What's your reaction to hearing that she still has feelings for you?
I mean, same, but I didn't expect to hear that, if we're being honest.
And it seems like maybe, just maybe, Ciara would give this man another chance down the road, down the line, if big changes happen. But what I thought was really interesting is that West was not expecting to hear that from Ciara, and I think a light bulb went off in his head. He was like, oh wait, maybe I can rewrite history here for my next season and can make this happen with Ciara, and then the fans will love that, because Paige, did you hear, said under her breath, he doesn't give a shit about you, Ciara. He just cares what the public thinks.
He's most scared about the public not liking him. He does not give a shit about you.
Oh, I loved Paige knew what she was doing, and I loved it. If I hear rumblings that Ciara's giving West another chance, I'm calling the first Uber to the Hamptons. I'm not allowing that to happen.
So you don't think he's...
Because I think they could get to a place where they could be like cordial friendly again, maybe. And Ciara's like, I'm once bitten, twice shy by you. We could be in the same house. We could do all that. If they do this dance again, and let's be honest, it will end the same way, I would assume, it would be an implosion of the house.
I'm giving Wes the benefit of the doubt that he will do the work that he knows he needs to do to make the Ciara situation work next summer, if that's what he wants. And I think that Ciara would appreciate that, because if I'm being like completely honest, the men who Ciara has done dances with before, aka Austin,
I know,
I would much rather be doing a second, third, and fourth
Evan,
dance.
would you tell a girlfriend of yours who has been dating a guy who maybe lives on the Lower East Side, maybe lives in Murray Hill, and she's like, wait, he said that he's changing and he just didn't understand the relationship, but like it's gonna be really different now? What would you say to her?
Well, I think Wes lives in Hell's Kitchen, so that I don't know where you're going with that argument, Danny, but I believe in
He
Wes.
lives, maybe, I'm not gonna confirm where he geographically lives literally, but he's emotionally a Lower East Side boy. And I think he would also agree with that. He'd be outside Spring Lounge, that's more Soho. He'd be outside Spring Lounge dancing to Sexy Red with like a book in his back pocket maybe that he's not reading. And I mean, I love that for him.
That sounds fun, Danny. Come on.
Yes, it's fun to hang out with, but not to get played by twice.
Yeah, no, that's so true. And I hope that...
But that's exactly it. He's a fun person to hang out with.
Mm-hmm.
And I think Ciara now learned that. He's not I don't know yet if he's the perfect boy to date. Maybe he should go to Jersey once a week and get dating lessons when Kyle gets DJ lessons.
Oh yeah, that's a good idea. Do you know what would actually be amazing is, I don't know if the summer house can fit any more people, but
it can, I feel.
Maybe they cast a really hot dude that they know Ciara would be into to then sort of create some like competition with Wes. Although I feel like Wes is of the mindset where I don't think he's a competitive guy. I think he would just like let the other dude do what he needs to do and then he would move on. But I don't know, maybe for Ciara it could ignite some passion.
I think that I would like that. Yeah, who do you I don't know if we have to get into who we think might be getting the rags packed. I don't really know that. But you would want a boy to be added to the pile?
I think another boy added to the pile just because Wes and Jesse were such great additions, and I think it sort of confirmed that the audience was in desperate need or just very thirsty for some new fun boy energy, and I think we could use even more of that, especially because Kyle and Amanda have their insane depressive marriage episodes sometimes. Obviously Carl is going through his own emotional journey, and I'm sure that the post Lindsay era will be emotional and dark at points. So we just need like fun, cute boys. Wes and Jesse certainly fit the bill. And I think there should be room for more ways. Speaking of fun, cute boy energy though, can we talk about Jesse and Paige knocking knees? The whole little knee touching, and I thought it was funny that Jesse called her out because
I know, it was very warranted. Like, it was a great little like full circle situation. But again, she's an Italian girl. Sometimes she's in her Lady Gaga era. She's a touching knees, 5'2". But I know, I did like that they also did the little tally. She touched a lot of knees.
Yeah, she really did. I mean, and for Jesse, what a lucky place for him to be in. As she said, it would be a lucky place for Wes to be Ciara's puppet.
Very, very true. Wait, final thought. Because if Lindsay's going full speed ahead with this guy, and she said it's very serious, and he's never watched the show.
I am dating a wonderful man.
Wow. Has he seen the show?
No.
Do you think, how would she date him while doing the show? Like, do you think he'll be on it?
I think that maybe since he hasn't watched the show and seemingly has no idea what it is or what it's about, perhaps that would be a very easy entryway for him to involve himself on the show, because Lindsay's like, this is just what I do for work. It's like this little show. Like, we're there for like a few weeks in the summer, et cetera, et
She's
cetera.
like, everyone loves me. We get along great.
Cut to, he gets in the house and then he catches the real temperature. And then, I don't know. I mean, I think, or I hope, yes.
I hope so too.
Obviously, because I'm just so curious about him. I mean, half the cast met him in Portugal.
Have any of you met him?
Yeah, we met him in Portugal.
What do you think?
Really nice guy.
Love him.
Yeah.
Okay.
They say he's a great guy.
Wait, what happened in Portugal also? I feel like I'm missing everything.
I think there was like some wedding that a lot of the people on the Summer House.
Oh, yes, because
I don't know who got married, but I just remember everyone was in Portugal.
Okay. Oh.
And so she brought him to a wedding. So like she said, it's very serious. I wish we could get a name because
Evan, bringing someone to a wedding is serious? Ciara enters the chat. Just saying. You played yourself.
No, I agree. I think that Wes fumbled the bag. I'm just saying, I think he could pick the bag up again, neatly pack it, and deliver it to the correct address next time.
If Ciara wants a new bag, girl, call me. We'll go to Bergdorf's next season, and I can't wait.
Do you know what? And that bag will never let you down.
Ever. And you know what? The Summer House cast didn't let us down this season either, because it was truly so entertaining, insightful, crazy. And I mean, I'm excited for them all to get back to filming because I need it now.
Oh my God, I know. Let's send it, baby.